I stumbled upon some of those wonderful quotes by somebody called Mary Oliver, and I believe it was my mother that sent me one of Mary Oliver's quotes, but just some absolutely wonderful stuff. Some of it applying to life, and some even talking about writing and writers and being creative. Um, I just listened to an amazing show called On Being with host Chris Tippett, interviewing somebody named Bene Brown. She's a researcher from Houston, Texas, and does research, social research into concepts like vulnerability and honesty, and how being more vulnerable can actually dramatically change our lives. I highly recommend that Krista Tippett On Being podcast. You can pick that up by doing a Google search and putting it right on your laptop. Or it's also available as an app for something called Stitcher, which I really have become very accustomed to as of late, and it's a great wealth of. I've got about 20 shows saved, including my brother's music talk show on there too. So it's Stitcher is a great way to be connected to the world. So well, it's a bright sunny day in Wisconsin. It's 21 degrees and sunny. As I look out, and that wonderful sun is still there, and that's good. That's a good thing, right? So, Kitty, get down. I have a cat that likes wires. He likes the wires, so I have to keep him away. So, today I wanted to talk about Mary Oliver quotes, just some that really touched me. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes, to let it go. To let it go. She also said, writers sometimes give up what is most strange and wonderful about their writing, soften their roughest edges to accommodate themselves toward a group responsive. That's interesting how, we talk about children losing their creativity in the fourth or fifth grades, and coming up with such creative things in kindergarten and first grade, and then that creativity is gradually squelched. Um, and the same thing, analogous things happens with writers, sometimes giving up what's most strange and wonderful about their writing, having to conform with a criticism. Um, and I see my own form of writing as trying to reach out to the most creative parts now before it's squelched, pretty much. Um, Another quote from Mary Oliver: I consider myself kind of a reporter, one who uses words that are more like music and that have a choreography. I never think of myself as a poet, just I get up and write. That's pretty good. I have a lot of respect for people that get up and just can write for 3 hours. It's very, very difficult for me to discipline myself like that. As a matter of fact, I'm in a stage right now where I think I need to read a lot more in order to even have anything to share with writing. What I read is so much better than what I can write. Right now, at least, I'm sort of in a creativity slump with writing right now. In college, you learn how to learn. 4 years is not too much time to spend at that. And I was thinking of that too lately. Is that you speed up and you have education and you have to do so much by the time you're 21, and then 31 comes along, and 41 and 51, and in this scrunched period of time you were supposed to develop yourself so much, and then it's kind of like on automatic pilot. You get a job, and the learning, when you think about it, the learning should never stop. If you could go at that intensity from 21 to 31 or 21 to 40 as you were when you revved up and shot like a cannon from the educational institutions, if we can just spend time disciplining ourselves at least to read, I think is the most basic thing. And that's what I'm trying to do lately, is discipline myself to read more, to experience more, to be vulnerable to more, as uh, Brené Brown talks very articulately about in the On Being interview, is just to let that vulnerability flow and the creativity, let the creativity flow, and not worry so much about what other people think, whether it's creativity with poetry or writing or playing guitar or whatever. Just let it flow, and let your actions define yourself rather than your cowardice define yourself. We're also all afraid to make mistakes or to appear to be silly or crazy or whatever. Another Mary Oliver quote: "As a child, what captivated me was reading the poems myself and realizing there was a world without material substance which was nevertheless as alive as any other." What's alive in you? It's the real question. When it's over, I want to say all my life was a bride married to amazement. I was the bridegroom taking the world into my arms. So this is how you swim inward. This is how you flow outwards. This is how you pray. Almost anything is too much. I'm trying in my poems to have the reader be the experiencer. I do not want to be there. It is not even a walk we take together. I have a notebook with me all the time. I begin scribbling a few words. When things are going well, the walk does not get anywhere. I finally just stop and write. Just sit by a park bench and write. I was very careful never to take an interesting job. If you have an interesting job, you get interested in it. It's very important to write things down instantly, or you can lose the way you were thinking out of line. I have a rule that if I wake up at 3 in the morning and think of something, I write it down. A lot of writers have writing pads next to their bed, and I've woken up a couple times with melodies for songs in my head. I had to go in there and do it. Another great Mary Oliver quote is, "Tell me, what is your plan? What do you plan to do with one wild and precious life?" So there's some Mary Oliver quotes. Well, today on Facebook I did post something. There's another song, there's a YouTube site called Melody Sheep, you can look it up, where they take speeches and people, like they'll take scientists saying things and then they'll make songs into it. Like there was several of those, and the latest one is they take Charlie Chaplin's famous speech, "Let Us All Unite," and they make it into a song, which is kind of cool. So there. Anyway, that's just some of the things going on today. Not a super busy day, but still enjoying my Stitcher radio.
Audible.com is the leading provider of digital audiobooks. They have different genres from science fiction to thrilleristic comedy, so they have something for everybody.
This is the Charlie Chaplin ad that's going on before it actually plays. This is kind of interesting. If you can hear this, I'll try to boost the audio. This is kind of interesting.
But I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate. We think too much and feel too little. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness. Without these qualities, life will be violent. No will be lost. No will be lost.
So there's, if you could hear that, that's kind of interesting. Charlie Chaplin, the video with his speech, and then they can do something with technology to change the tone of the audio to make it appear like they're singing it. They can change the vibration of the audio to be higher pitched or lower pitched. So it's an intriguing concept, and it's being done with a lot of different things. There have been some pot shot videos at politicians too that have been done, that have been kind of cheaply done with the same technology too. But the ones that are really good are they're called the Symphony of Science. I definitely recommend check out Symphony of Science, um, and you'll find some real creative and knowledge-based type productions. Melody Sheep on YouTube.